Let's bring in Tracy Walder, former CIA agent and FBI special agent. Tracy, always good to see you, and I know your perspective is needed just because you've been in this uniform. But we learned from a source close to the investigation, FBI agents, they notified Secret Service agents there at Mar-a-Lago about an hour and a half before. They were not wearing FBI shirts or jackets. In fact, I had a viewer tweet me this morning saying they didn't have badges on their belts. I don't know if that's true or not. And then second of all, I think the question is that typical?
Well, thank you for having me, Adrienne. It's good to see you again. That seems atypical. I could understand not going in there with my, FBI jacket on and those kinds of things, because that would draw a lot of attention initially to the raid. However, if they were armed, they should have their badges on their belts. That's just typical procedure that we have to follow as special agents. So I'd be surprised if that was the case. However, I'm not surprised that they did not have, sort of those blue jackets that we see with the yellow FBI letters on them.
The president referencing this, saying that this is prosecutorial misconduct. I think we hear the word raid, and there are a lot of people who think that the FBI came in, kicked down the door, broke their way inside. But from all indications, this was a peaceful approach by the agents. They came in, they were allowed in the house by those Secret Service agents. Do we know anything about this?
So thank you so much for bringing that up. I think sometimes, as a former FBI special agent, former CIA officer, a lot of times one of our greatest enemies can be pop culture and the perceptions surrounding pop culture. And, there's a difference between a raid and then serving a search warrant. And this was serving a search warrant. And this is done very methodically, very peacefully. Sure, it can be jarring to the occupant of the house because they don't necessarily know that we're coming. However, this is not something that's done with guns blazing. We know where we're going. We know what we're supposed to be looking for. And we really sort of try to maximize the amount of things that we're trying to get in the warrant. We even leave a copy of the warrant when we depart.
And when you have an execution of a warrant like this, especially with the number of hoops you have to jump through to get approval for a warrant at someone as high profile as former President Trump's home, will there be a likelihood that agents will go back to collect more evidence?
Yeah, that's a really, really great point. I can't say for certain. I think that there is, and this is just my hypothesis here, I've been a special agent at the FBI. I've served search warrants, executed some search warrants on folks that are high profile, certainly not, former presidents of the United States. And typically you have a lot of evidence and a lot of probable cause prior to executing that search warrant. So I think this is more than simply mishandling some classified documents. I think this is probably documents that pertain to national security, and they needed to be removed immediately. My best guess is that they will not need to come back. The FBI wouldn't want to draw that attention to them. However, I don't want to say never.
All right, Tracy Walder, we appreciate your time as always. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.